So in this video I will tell you what platforms you can use, how you can learn how to program, and where you should go next. Now there are many different platforms that you can use to learn how to program. It all depends on how you are as a learner. Are you a visual learner? Do you learn by reading? Do you learn by doing more? So it depends, and you need to find out what type of learner you are. Now there are several platforms. Obviously one of the most famous ones and one that everyone knows and I have used back then is FreeCodeCamp. There's also the Odin project, which is really heavily focused on actually doing the projects yourself. There's a bunch of YouTubers as well and content creators who are programmers or software engineers themselves. For example, FreeCodeCamp has their own channel, Brad Traversy has his own channel as well. So if you're someone who learns by watching videos, that's also a great way to learn. For me personally, I'm someone who reads articles and books. So if you're someone like that, there's also a bunch of books that you can read, but it all depends on what your initial goal is. So if you're someone who's trying to land a job, the best way to do is go and build projects. Now please remember that building a weather project or a to-do project that everyone already has done isn't the way to go. The best way to do this is to build a project that would potentially solve a problem that you have. So this could be, for example, maybe you are someone who wakes up really early in the morning and you like to go through your to-do lists. Maybe you create a routine app that pushes those to-do lists every time you wake up in the morning and refreshes your whole list. The reason I'm saying it should solve a problem of your own is because whenever you're interviewing at a company or for a job, you will be able to discuss and talk about this project with a much more accuracy, much more passion, and the code will be yours. Everyone already has built weather apps, everyone already has made to-do lists, everyone has made to-do apps is what I'm trying to say. So this is a great way for you to stand out by building a project that solves either your problem or someone else's problem. Now when I say problem, that does not mean it has to be something large or big. You're not trying to make the world a better place like all those startups try to. It can be something simple. It could be maybe you need a certain medication at a certain hour, maybe you have a specific appointments at each time of the day, or you have a routine that you would like to go through. It needs to be kept simple. It needs to be something that solves your own problem, because at the end of the day, when you are not following a YouTube video tutorial but you're building something of your own, you'll be able to talk about it with greater passion, in greater detail. One of the things that they tell me is that they are tired of seeing the same old weather apps and quote apps, to-do apps, etc. So it's always nice if you come with something that's of your own. Now, besides the point of building projects and solving problems, there's also the discussion that you should learn a popular framework. Now this really depends on the region you live in, so be careful with that one. For example, around Europe and Belgium, Java, not JavaScript, is actually one of the largest and most searched terms when you're applying to jobs. A lot of companies still use Java, and it's one of the main programming languages that is still high in demand and you can land a job with. So make sure to research the local area and your local markets, whatever they require, the type of frameworks and languages they use, and maybe that's the direction you should go to. Now there's a lot of conversation about this on whether you should learn something that you like versus learning something that can potentially land you a job. It depends on your end goal, but if you're going for a job by end of the year, let's say, please make sure you do research on your local market, because that's the place that's going to be hiring you first and foremost. Remote jobs are still a thing, but it's much higher to get a remote job nowadays. And another very important aspect of learning how to program and become a software engineer is the community. Now, if you are not able to join a local community through meetups or maybe another app that you can use to go to, or you have your local communities who are focused on programming, you can always join platforms like Facebook. X is a great one, YouTube. There are plenty of Discord servers as well who are focused on not only helping beginners but also helping out the general community in tech, and there's a plethora of those as well. A thing that you can do is, for example, join the 100 days of code, post your code and your progress, the 100 days of code log it's called, daily on X to build the community, find the friends, and also keep yourself accountable, because this will be a long and difficult journey. Do not listen to anyone. Learning how to program is absolutely difficult. It's not something that's easy and comes naturally to humans, right? So this will take you time, and it's best that you surround yourself by people who are going through the same journey as you. And naturally those people, if they're not in your local area, they will be online, and X is a very good platform for this. I've built my community around it, I've built my Discord server around it, and I really like it. Now another platform obviously is YouTube, which is what I'm doing now, but it's harder to connect there as the platform relies heavy on parasocial relations rather than interactions. So I would focus on platforms like Reddit, Discord, and X/Twitter. Now it's really important that you understand that in the beginning you should absolutely focus on the fundamentals and not go anywhere else. Do not listen to all the hype around the new frameworks and languages being released. Just focus on pure computer science, at least the basics of it. A great course for this, which is kind of difficult but still recommended a lot, is CS50 by Harvard. It's free. From CS50 you can continue on to their web development, I think they still have it, or you can go over to Free Code Camp, which now also has project-based learning. You can go to YouTube or documentation like Mozilla Developer Network, or you can just go at any platform that you like to use and go from there. But I would highly recommend you start out slowly with CS50 if you're able to. And if not, there's plenty of other course-based projects like Zero to Mastery. There's Steve Cole's course as well on Udemy. There's so much out there. It's just very important that you choose one and stick with it. Do not jump around on courses. The brain is not made for multitasking. That's absolutely a misconception. Focus on one thing. I would personally go from CS50, maybe then jump over to Free Code Camp, and then start building my own projects. The sooner you start building your own projects, the better this will be. It is absolutely essential that you first learn the fundamentals of at least computer science. It's better to build this up slowly so that you're equipped with the necessary knowledge and the basic of computer science, so to speak, and then go over to web development, because that will give you the confidence to tackle those interviews and potentially go into the technical interviewing aspect, which we will discuss in another video, because this whole interviewing is such a big and deep topic, and I've talked about this on Twitter Spaces on X Spaces so many times, so that's gonna be for tomorrow. So that's it. In 2024, focus on the fundamentals. Find a platform that you like. It could be a video platform, it could be a text-based platform like Free Code Camp, for example, or their YouTube channel. Stick with the course, complete the projects, and then once you're done, do not jump on another tutorial hell-based course. You need to get out of tutorial hell. Focus on your own projects, build them small, start small, break down the tasks, break down the projects into smaller tasks, and then go over to the bigger ones, because that's how you will slowly build up the confidence and the necessary skills to create better and more apps, so to speak. Now that we've discussed how you can learn how to program in 2024 and what platforms you should use, the communities you can join, the build in public and 100 days of code and everything related to X, and connecting with other developers so your journey becomes easier, focusing on the local market, whatever the market demands of you locally. The next step, which comes after learning, is the interview process. Now this is a whole separate topic and I will make a video on it tomorrow, because the interviewing process can be broken down into several parts, which I will probably do, with the first one being actually getting the interview, which is already kind of hard. I've seen many people on X and Reddit kind of rant about how they've given out so many applications and their resume and everything is great, but they're not hearing back from companies, or they're not getting the jobs they're applying to. So this is the first step. Tomorrow I will upload a video on how I have helped many developers get to these interviews and contact the companies or hiring managers and recruiters, and how you can use different platforms to do that. And then after that we'll jump into the process of interviewing, so the technical and the soft skills part of it. And then after that we'll continue on how you can manage multiple interviews and use those to your advantage, because then you can also increase not only your total compensation, but it will make it seem that you're worth your time and the companies will be fighting for you. Now, to be fair, the market is a little bit harder to get into than it used to be, let's say 2 years ago. That does not mean there is no opportunity out there, and developers are still being hired, especially in the Web3 community. Even outside all the major tech layoffs, there's a huge opportunity in different markets, different niches. So don't be afraid, there's still plenty of jobs out there. And if you're not one of those who are looking for a job, or you want to maybe get into freelancing or build your own business, or you want to do community coaching or whatever else, there will be a separate video on that later. But first we will get into the interviewing aspect, how to land those jobs, and then we'll go from there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow, friends.